The writing's on the wall. You either listen, it's touch and go last time a few weeks ago. Make sure, Yammy, because I think my chances are running out.
Everyone was saying you're meant to be dead.
I know.
It was like you died, and everyone was like, "What a lovely bloke he was! What amazing! It was like a legend." And all of a sudden, a few days later, you pop up again.
A month before, someone tried to assassinate me. They poisoned me.
How did you end up spending 37 years in prison?
You wanna? I was going on like I lived inside, like I was outside.
Yeah.
Because I knew that they weren't going to let me out, because they would never give me no chances of help or anything. I never really expected to live, to be honest, Dodge. I counted myself out a long time. First I got the 6, and then I got the 8, then I got the 13, then I got the 8, and I did every day out of all 4 of them sentences. Every single day. Every day.
Yammy, welcome to the show, mate.
Hello, Dodge. Finally.
We're here, mate.
Good stuff, mate. Timing's immaculate.
Mate, it's all about timing,
it's
isn't
all
it?
about timing.
Let's get straight to the point.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying you're meant to be dead.
I know. I've just recovered from all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just before Christmas, one of my friends, my big brothers, died in a fight, right, where someone in front of everyone. So I went to my first funeral while I was out, Dodge, and I ain't been to one ever in my life before.
Yeah.
So I went there, but I went back to the old man of Ladbroke Grove, Arrow Road, and saw the faces. And I went to the 9 night because obviously I love his mum, sisters. They're like sisters to me anyway. I was the one that missed out. I was with them in school days, but not many people have seen a lot of me. But it was after that, I had a lapse. I went wonky for about 3 or 4 weeks, culminating in a 4-day bender where I was in the hands of 2 other people that were not really known to me. An ambulance got called, and I gave him the phone. I gave him the phone and said, listen, I'm not going to make it. Oh. But I didn't tell them to put it up that way. They put it up in a different way.
What did they do?
Because they were off the key as well.
So they were off their nut. You were in the ambulance.
I'm in the ambulance, but my heart's thinking I'm not going to make it.
Is that right?
So I went, I'll pass the phone. I gave it to her.
And they posted it?
Because I said, tell what's the name, I love her. Tell him I love him. It's all over. So I was a bit dramatic. And they put it up there and put it, it's me, his granddaughter. They just done it all wrong. Oh, man. But it's my fault. I take responsibility.
Do you know, it was interesting when we saw it on YouTube. It was going everywhere, all over social. It was like you died, and everyone was like, "What a lovely bloke he was! What amazing!" It was like a legend. And all of a sudden, a few days later, you pop up again.
I went up on a live, and everyone was saying, "You still ain't made it clear." I mean, what happened? I said, "I don't even know." But I went up there, rough like I was the other day, and then I got over that, Dodge.
Yeah.
I'd done 2 weeks. I got clean. I was seeing my parrot Charlie, and then I thought the game was won again. Yeah. And then as soon as I went somewhere else. I went on to something different.
What were you on the first time?
With the white thing.
The white.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was up doing a bend like the old days. Like, you know what I mean? That was just after the funeral.
Yeah.
So then, and then I went on the other stuff that I don't really normally go on.
Which is?
The dark thing. Like, it was a jailhouse thing for me. It's never been really outside. It's happened twice before out here when I've jumped drugs and switched them around when I can't do that one because I'm scared of it and then I don't. Yeah. So I'm just learning about, that kind of stuff in the 3 years. But then I went on to that and then I forgot what that does. That makes me isolate, like I'm down the block where I don't want to see anyone. Yeah. So then I had to recover from that. And then the other day, as I was 2 weeks into the detox when I was supposed to come down and see her a month before, someone tried to assassinate me. They poisoned me. But it was a lady.
They poisoned you?
Well, they come. I asked for. I weren't taking those sleeping tablets or nothing, Dodge. And I said to them, "Can you bring me a bit of weed because I don't smoke weed or nothing, right?" Yeah. So I said, "Bring me because let me have a couple of puffs of weed and let me go to bed." So they rolled it up. They put it through the letterbox. I said, "Are you coming in?" They said, "Nah." So they give me the roll up and I took it and then I had a trip for 4 hours. And blood was squirting out my ears and nose. Oh, mate. I was in serious trouble. Mate. The whole house, the whole block woke up. The police and I wouldn't answer the door. It was a guy. I was going. It was terrible.
Oh, mate.
It was the worst.
But you know what? This is all about timing.
Oh, Dodge, it was
We've
terrible.
Been bouncing back and forward for a month.
The other bits are out now.
What's that feeling like when you know you're coming off it? How long does it take to come off it?
See, that
time?
Particular thing, I always worked. I forgot that it's not 2 weeks, it's normally 28 days. Because it reminds the body of what you used to do, opiate-related stuff. But where I'm a bit, where I'm coming off the one lap and think that was kind of a bit shaky ground, to be honest, Dodge. And So I thought, and then that shut away, and then obviously you don't look the same. Then I don't want to socialise. Then, you know what I mean, my beloved followers, they you know what I mean, they recognise that, hold on, Yammy, you don't look like that when you're clean. You know that they know.
Yeah.
So I ain't shortchanging anyone.
Yeah.
So you know me, I'll just go up and tell them straight.
Yeah.
But that event the other day was horrifying, Dodge. So then I've done another 2 weeks. That's delayed me and you. But in the end, we're
here,
there.
mate.
Yeah.
We're
just
here.
to let you know, I turned up down there as well, and I called it on with all of them. They all shit it.
Down here?
No, where I am.
Up there, was it?
I was got all my energy back. I went down there. Everyone was saying, don't go down there. I said, no, I'm going down there. I said, you tried to kill me.
Yeah.
Like that, Dodge.
Yeah.
Well, funny, mate.
The main thing is, right, you're here, you're in a good place today, and you're alive.
I know.
So let's start this off, right? Let's roll all the way back. Where did you grow up, and how did you end up spending 37 years in prison?
So it's a familiar tale. I've been on a couple of shows before, Dodge, but basically 10 years old, 11 years old, dad had a stroke, mum took an overdose, me and my 2 sisters, no one to take care of us, get put into care. Terrible things happened to me in there. I ended up stabbing a member of staff. I went to Stamford House, secure unit, and...
Well, hold on, let's roll back to the end. Yeah. You ended up stabbing someone.
Yeah,
why? Because
they was abusing me in some sort of way. I was a bit young, and when I was 11, I looked about 5, Dodge.
Right.
So that was in Harrow Road, Brunel Estate. That was about 1977, something like that. So in days, you know, they swept everything under the carpet, made a complaint beforehand to a lovely lady, a member of staff there. She believed me. Yeah. But when you go in front of them and on social services, they were like, you know, you've seen what's come out in later life about a lot of them wrong-uns. Yeah. But obviously, I was made to feel guilty because he did get suspended, but he lived on the premises. Can never forget, he used to come out with dark glasses every day, but then the other members of staff were blaming me. Yeah. Because, you know, when you're little...
So they're putting the guilt back on you. So you can't speak up?
No, and then one day I didn't want to go to school because I was crying, but I had the Leeds United bag on my back, and the staff lifted me up and threw me outside the front door, and all the other kids on the landing were laughing. So I got the geometry set out, took the compass. Yeah. You know the things you grow, the circle, which the old maths class, Dodge. Yeah. And I got it, and I would press the bell. I was only about 4 foot. Yeah. And I'd run in there and jumped on him. He was about 6 foot, and I stabbed him. I stabbed him everywhere, but there's only small holes, obviously. Yeah. And then I went to school, and then the police come to get me, and then I got charged, and I was in institutions ever since.
So the institutions, what age did you?
I went first a bit to Stamford House, probably 13, 14. Then I got back out after 3 months, went to another children's home in Mozart. Then I got around with all the professional burglars because West London produced a lot of the rich and famous, sadly, burglars from that time. They were my role models, and they used to push me through the windows and all that. And they used to call me, I was a bit lucky, but everyone used to mug me off anyway. I used to give everything away. Yeah. But then social services came again and put me in an approved school down in Horsham, West Grinstead, Sussex. So,
you know when you say like social services come and get you again and they put you in an approved school, what's the difference between that school than you were before?
The children's home, the approved school is you live at the school and it's run by brothers.
Like a boarding school?
Like a boarding school, but for bad boys. Okay. Like they call your name out in an assembly, and if you've messed about at night, you get slapped and all that. Right, okay. Very serious. We're the real hardcore bad boys. A lot of them go on to do institutional detention centres and Borstal training, which happened to me. Yeah. But obviously with mum and dad, and you know, there's a lot of sad things. I loved my mum, and I didn't really like her. She was vulnerable, and she was an alcoholic, and then she got better, but I used to go searching for her. No one used to come and see me. I was all alone, Dodge, basically. And these are the things that I try to put out there for people that are suffering, where you got, you know what I mean, where you're born with what you're born with, and sometimes it can be easy to blame people for the shortcomings, but I know that my mum and that never had the skills. You know what I mean? They had their own problems, you know what I mean? So it was more of a case that the loss of mum, that stuff happening, then you kind of hurt. Those are the two.
How old were you when your mum went?
That was about just now. I got to see her. She died as I come out this time. Yeah. Sadly, Dodge. Yeah. But at that time, like with mum, so that's 11. But that was the biggest loss for me. Then the abuse. So that anything that happens after that, it's not really going to hurt me, is it? Yeah. You know what I mean? because you think about it, all them sentences, you never really bothered me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we got to the fours, 4 years out a month, another 4, you do 3 years out of that, then you get round to the bigger sentences, then you become more violent, and then you become a raving nutcase, then you don't, then it just goes on, innit? You're a product of that system, and you know.
So from that second or third school, you were at the boarding school.
Yeah.
What trouble did you get into there?
What I absconded because they never used to let, a lot of the boys used to have a chance to go on weekend leave every 2 weeks. But of course, my mum and dad, social services, not letting me go back there. See what I mean? So I was always, when everyone's going away, I used to feel really lonely and sad, because I used to think, well, no one's going to do. And then I started running away, and then I ran away and absconded, and I started burgling. And then they nicked me my first a lot of burglaries, high class premises again, sadly, but I went to detention centre from that, and then I've come out a couple of months after that, after I've had the short, sharp shock. Then I start to believe, well, I'm fit now, and that kind of still small, but then I'm out a couple of months, and then I get the 4 years for burglary at St Albans Crown Court, where I was in a Boy Scout uniform. We're knocking on doors, doing car wash, and then the bigger boys go and burgle the house. But as usual, I was the only one that got nicked.
Right.
And then I got sentenced up there by Justice Drake, and he gave me 4 years. And the social worker went in the box. I said, we've done everything we can for him. We can offer nothing else. So I ended up in Aylesbury at 16.
At 16, so you got a 4 year for that?
Yeah, everybody was getting 4 years for armed robbery at that age when I was there.
What, just for being a kid knocking on the door, opening up so everyone else can burgle?
Yeah, I got 4 years, and I did all of that. That's when I came alive, and I was the smallest there. But I had protection. I was at the Angels there, but then I learnt to fight. Then I realised I had the bottle. As time went on, so then I came out of that.
Did you, so out of that 4, you did 2?
About 3.
About 3,
yeah.
Okay, and what age did you come out there?
I came out about 85.
How old are you, roughly?
Christmas, 19 and a half. And then I met my son's mother. That was my first ever second relationship. My first love, that didn't really have a chance to develop. But then I had a son with her. She was from Brixton. We used to go do crime together. I loved her at that time. That was when
you and the missus would do crime together.
Yeah, okay. So, but I would always live outside. But she was doing a different thing, like checks and cards and things like that. But I was doing the burglaries, but I'd up the game a little bit, and I was getting a lot of serious jewellery and stuff like that, and wearing it and thinking I was the bee's knees and all that.
Give me an example. Give me an example of a burglary you would do at that age.
Belgrave Square, Knightsbridge, Bishop's Avenue, Cheshire, all over the country. All the
proper wealthy guys.
Yeah, I got a tiara once. Yeah, sold that for nothing as well.
Hold on. You got a tiara?
Yeah, at all Albert Mansions.
Well, you nicked that from one of the posh guys?
Yeah, sadly.
Did you know it was in there?
No, I climbed up 10 floors, fire exit. You know where the Albert Hall is? There's a couple of blocks, apartment penthouses called Albert Mansions. It's on record anyway. Yeah. So, and then I went in there. I got let in. The porter wasn't there. It was on a Saturday night, and I climbed and I went through the door and the safe was open. But there was a royal family from Saudi Arabia or something like that. So, but when I was coming out, the doors couldn't open. So when I had to come back out, the same window I came out, and all the drain pipe had black on it. So I left a big handprint, and then they come to get me a few weeks later. I said, "Yeah, this valued at 800,000. Where's the?" And they asked for the family heirloom back.
No.
Yeah.
What did you do with it?
I broke it up. I started smoking coke around that time. There I was putting 50 quid in the spliff and that kind of stuff. And
so you broke it up and then started flogging
going
bits
down
off
the garden.
of it?
Yeah.
You're joking, mate.
Yeah. So I got about 11 for it, and they valued it at 550. And then I had a shandy with diamonds and a matching set and all that. But I sold it. I got about 650 something.
Did you not think? Hold on a minute. Let me go and get this valued at Hatton Garden.
No,
800 or 550 and.
No, I just used to sit in the room on my own, smoking as much as I could.
Really?
Yeah. Remember them days? I got a bit stronger as well.
Yeah.
But I was a nutcase.
And when did the drugs really kick in then? Because you said you were smoking crack then.
Yeah. So the 90s. So we'll take it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Dodged around about 89. Everyone knows I got a Queen's pardon. That was in Wandsworth about 89. I was still relatively a little bit of a sweet boy. Even though I was 20 at that time, I was still a late developer because I'd been in institutions. Yeah. So I was still a bit young-minded, and I looked young. That's why a lot of big names used to look after me. But I say a man was on top of her. I went to the office one day, and then they wronged me off for that. And the probation was from the outside. Her name was Carol Bellardi. She worked at Seymour Place, and she came in once a week. But I got there and opened up the room. Everybody knows the story already. And I ended up having a row with a geezer. But I thought, you know what I mean? I didn't know what he was doing. But we started fighting. But then the old screws, obviously, looking at it, you know what I mean, like a hero. But a lot of the big names saying, Yammy done the right thing there, mate. Don't listen to them. We don't do all that kind of stuff. So then after that, when they started wronging me off for doing that, some people, I started using drugs in prison.
So you went and helped the lady?
Yeah.
And you got a pardon from the Queen?
Yeah, I got 300 days off my EDR. It's called a royal warrant. Wow. They gave it to my mum, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they let me out, and then I was out 5 weeks from that.
So they let you out for 300 days, or they took 300 days off your sentence? Okay, okay.
Yeah. Which was a big lot off your EDR.
And what was your sentence at
4
that time?
years. So instead of doing 2 years, 8 months, I only had to do 20 months or something, which was unusual for me at that time. But like I said, I turned bad after that. I was only out 5 weeks. Got nicked on another bit of graft.
Same thing?
Same thing. Got nicked in Chelsea. Was on a bit of work, had a fight with a builder. Jumped on a bus, and the plainclothes jumped on the bus with football scarves on. I said, we just saw a scream down there. Can you come off the bus, please? And then I ended up in custody for that. And then I started using drugs in prison, because then rumours were starting about saying, I said, all right. And so I'll start taking drugs to bury my head in the sand, and it's turned me into a nutter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what year, and how old were you on that third bit?
The 89, so then I came out 90 on the Queen's pardon. Yeah. Then I was out 5 weeks, 35 days, got nicked in Chelsea, and then I got another 3.5 or something, and then I ended up, I was still a bit young thing, then I started using. So I ran about 92, coming out from that, then I started using crack and that kind of.
And roughly what age were you then?
I would have been still 20... 86, I'd have been about 25, 26, but I'd already been in jail with him.
Were you at a point where you didn't really care about we getting nicked or not? Just putting back into nick?
I told you, it's more of a case of, I think it's all I knew. Then I thought I was somebody because I could go and do them bits of graft on my own. You're deluded. You think you're Raffles or the Pink Panther. Yeah. But you get lost in it all. But you're going on foot. Yammy, and you know what I mean? You think you're being clever, and you know, when drugs came into the play after the Queen's pardon, then the times out got shorter. 92, I was only out a month, but I was running around like a nutter. They was saying, all my friends from the school days, they were already heavy into stuff. So every time I used to come out, they used to be waiting at the gate. Yeah. And then I used to go with them, and then, you know what I mean? I was always, and you don't even got nowhere to go, nowhere to do. You ain't got no relationships. You just, you know what I mean? You're in real trouble, really, but you don't know it. And then you're in jail again before you know it. And only this time now, you're thinking, they're going to, I was going on like I lived inside, like I was outside. Yeah. Because I knew that they weren't going to let me out, because they would never give me no chances of help or anything. Yeah. So I carried on, and then I learned off the robbers in there, and then I got stronger, and then I decided, and I turned into an horrible, nasty man as well. But
did you turn horrible inside?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that because you thought, hold on a minute, I'm coming as a grown man now, 25, 26, I'm going to start running a bit of this.
Yeah. Yeah. And you ain't got nothing as well, like, and then you put yourself up for hire. And so that all the tellers and all that, you're going to play up to the crowd. They're going to say, get 5 of them, can't get rid of him. You know what I mean? You learn off the other heavy mob that you've been watching in the 80s, how it's done. And you know how to score points, you know how to throw the survival thing and the fear factor out there, that if you mess about with me and I don't get what I want, you could call me anything else you want, but if I want that, you have to give it to me. Yeah. That's it. So then they'll say, all right, I'll play with that, because I know if I give Yammy, I took the piss, but they had a lot of luck as well, Dodge. A lot of them, they looked after me.
And when you say you're taking the piss, you're taking, give me 4s and 5s. Of what?
What, brown, saying
brown,
smoking
white,
it.
anything?
No, no white in there.
Okay.
No, I didn't puff. Yeah. Well, enough, that wasn't my thing.
So it was just heroin
and
in
train,
the prison.
wake up circuit, still train, still do play football magic. Boom, 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 boom. But, you know what I mean? I was a little beast, really. Yeah. In reality.
Pound for pound, I've heard you're one of the strongest in there, right?
Oh, of all sports, kind of. Yeah, when I'm on song. Yeah. Yeah, I could have them all, really, if I was being honest.
And what feeling was it for you? Obviously 25, going in there and all of a sudden coming into heroin.
Because it looked like, because they brought the drug test and things in, because for cannabis and all that. So everybody, the bigger names even were using a little bit sometimes to get, because it comes out your system in 3 days. Yeah. So everybody thought it was a good idea. But because I didn't enjoy Puff, I'm thinking, the brownies, you do the even though I never did it outside at all, really, until recent time. But it kills your emotions. Right. So it gives me a chase, a purpose to wake up every morning. Where is it? Where have I got to go? You know what I mean? I'm not listening to them. Fuck them. I've been here all my life. So I used it as a grafting material thing, because I was in love with taking risks. Yeah. But not thinking of the bigger picture, that you're upsetting a lot of people as well. Yeah. No, I mean, but then some days you've got to produce the goods, Dodge. You can only go and do that for so long. You're going to get tested.
How long is it in your system for?
So it's 3 days.
3 days.
5 max.
And what would happen if they come and test you within that?
You get 28 days remission.
So it'd be 28 days. They find it in you. It's another 28 days.
Days, out of sentence, yeah.
And what was your attitude with that?
I used to do it. I used to lose I used to do every day of it. First I got the 6, and then I got the 8, then I got the 13, then I got the 8, and I did every day out of all 4 of them sentences. Every single day.
Wow, man.
Every day. Yeah. They kept me in, and I'll tell you how deep it was. I was thinking the other day, this geezer was a good prison officer, Dodge.
What's his name?
Not the one I'm going to go and see this week, Phil Curry. There was another one that was on the Isle of Wight, and he was a gym screw. He had blonde hair and glasses, but then he was a governor in Whitemore. So what I used to do, when the things are running a bit thin, I used to go to certain, they get nicked. I say, listen, give Arthur, and I'll take that charge for you. So I was losing all my bird, but I was finding any way where I could go and you have to pay me still that, and that's the be-all and end-all. And I used to go in front of him after about 10 goes. As soon as I used to walk in, he used to get the nicking sheet, rip it up and say, get out, because he knows it's not mine.
Right, okay.
But he's a good geezer. Yeah. I knew what he meant. He said, Yammy, I'm not doing it. And then he used to know, because I used to want to have a lie down, because you either lose the 28 days, 3 weeks, 21 days CC down the block, which I used to use as a time.
What's CC?
Like, where you have to stay down the block.
Okay.
So, but I used to like it, because you get clean, and then I'd come back again with all my muscles. But they worked out that, hold on, we're going to have to take more bird, because then they start sending to the outside judge where you could use 56 days, 90 days. But I think for a while I was getting the seg, but it always used to suit me. You have a break and then you go back up again. You know what I mean? And then all the muscles just come back then. And I said, use it. And some of the screws, he's playing it. He doesn't care. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But that's dangerous. That mindset of not caring is dangerous, right?
I know. It's serious. When I ended up in Long Light, everyone was waiting at the gate for me, the Home Office, everyone. And I said, I'm not a high-risk cat, I'm not no big-time gangster or whatever, but maybe I was a pest, weren't I? There was affairs, all sorts of ladies always looked after me. They hated that. You know what I mean?
Could you have affairs in the...
some do. Some got the gift of the gab like me and you, Dodge. So they... But the ladies, some of them will warn me. Some of the men say, Yammy, listen, they're coming. You know what I mean? That's not my fault. They like somebody likes me. People like you or they don't. Yeah. I don't say that I was a bad man for getting loads of squeezes when I was supposed to have got hurt sometimes. But I know that I had more love. One of the favourite sayings was, you either love Yammy or feel sorry for him. You can't hate him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then on certain big days, when you're left all alone, when there's no one there, you know what I mean, to put a word in, you're going to have to produce the goods. Yeah. And then people remember those days, they think, yeah, but when he's ready, he's going to do that. You know what I mean, Dodgers? And there can't be no shrinking violet in them places. They will walk all over you. Any sign of weakness, trust me. Yeah. The big names always keep it. They don't need to take risks or think. They keep it proper because they know everyone's watching. Yeah. So they don't want to fall. They're doing live and all that. If I was doing a live, Tony Argent once said to me, some of others as well, said, Yammy, if you was doing live, I got a feeling you would have killed all of them. Because you wouldn't have nothing, you would know that they wouldn't let you out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't do the sentence the way that I did all the other sentences with a life, could you? Because they go, all right, then we'll leave him there. Like they've left many in there 25, 30 years later. You wouldn't get out.
So you were 25, right, at this time? Was this your third sentence?
And I'm 3 sentences. Yeah. After the Queen's pardon. Yeah. Then I got a 3.5, and then after that, the big ones came. So I touched a couple of cat A's early as a scaremongrel thing. They put me in the Isle of Wight and that kind for 3 months before the end of the sentence. So I had a taste, but I wasn't quite ready then, but I was learning quickly. So after the B cat run, the swell sides, the Blunderstons, the Bullingdon, and all the other ones, the other B cat, Garth, Preston, locals, Morton, Leeds, all everywhere. You go around, they keep moving every month.
How many do you
I've done loads, yeah. So then Dodge, and then after that, when I got the 8, from 94 to 2000, then the game opened up when everybody was getting stabbed. You know, I mean, Swellside was a nut house. And then I just looked and I said, you know what? Then I was only out a few months. Then I got nicked with a gun, the robberies and everything. And then I got the 13, and then it was Whitemore, Long Light, and then you're around. But I was already established before I reached. So I had the rubber green a little. I was more already institutionalised.
So when you come out, how long were you out for before you got
the longest
with the gun?
That was like 5 months. That was the longest.
And tell me the story about the gun. What was going on there?
Well, in 1994, but I got one up before I got the 8. I went on trial for about 25 robberies that I'd done in 3 weeks, all jump overs, petrol stations, in the middle of the night, not a real gun, small money. And I went on trial, and I went on a duress defence, and I went in the box, and the jury found me not guilty on all charges. So the police were screaming. So then they gave me an 8-year for what was left, 3 burglaries, right? As usual, made them all consecutive. So then when I came out again from 94 to 2000, after the BCAT run on that sentence there, when I came out 2000, I went and repeated all the same behaviour. And then I got 13 years.
Why?
God, why? I said to everyone to stay. I didn't really think, I never really expected to live, to be honest, Dodge. I counted myself out a long time. And it all swings around. I don't know, boy. And I mean, I just leave prison and think in the night, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to wait tomorrow. I'm going on a bit. You know what I mean? I'll go here, I'll go there. Yeah. It was programmed like a, you know what I mean? Where they all thought in the end that I was a raving lunatic, but I knew that I wasn't. I just knew that I didn't really care. Everything seemed lost. But ultimately, the Cat A's went on that run there from 2000 to 2010, 11, 12. That was probably, I raised the bar a bit more.
And tell me, what's Cat A like? Explain to the listener what a Cat A like.
Cat A's like jungles, right? There's some B cats that are like jungles, but when you're a high profile criminal, you got access to escape means, or you murdered someone, you end up, most of the time you start off in the Cat A's until you come down in category. For a Cat A man, you're on the book, so you get escorted. I wasn't a Cat A, I was a B cat, but because of my behaviour over the years, you put me in there with them. So, because you're thinking, all right, it's about time, we'll sort you out. How are you going to do around all them lot? We'll leave you there for a long time then. You know how to do it. That's how the system is, Dodge. But it's really dodgy places because a lot of mental health, a lot of men not going to get back out, a lot of cynical, bitter and twisted men, a lot of, domestic killers, serial killers. Everybody's in one pen in this paranoid environment. Yeah. And you got to come out every morning, especially when you're running around like me every day and you've got all the big names you're saying, and it's, the street arguments are being brought into there, and he's got to go, and then he's got to go, and then they want you, and you've got to produce, you've got to keep sorting him out, you've got to go. And you know what I mean? And then he gets confused because you're working for so many different sides, and you know what I mean. But every day I was to come out, I had both guns on the landings because I knew that you can't rest on your laurels. So a lot of people get hurt, Dodge, and a lot of them said, Yammy, you can't do it the way you've done it. That's the only way we give you the respect, because you would have to get hurt. But I managed to bob and weave, and you know what I mean, please most. And there were some deep times when I was under pressure though. Well, I was thinking every night, boy, tomorrow it's on you. You got 3 or 4 men, your saviours ain't around at this time. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you know that whatever it is, because when you're dealing with certain killers, my only makeup, Dodge, was I got to match that. You know what I mean? There's some horrible bastards in there, kill women and stuff like that. But Uncle Yammy was more on a thing. I was more on a thing. I know what you're going to do. Yeah. So I ain't really going to give you a chance. Yeah. So I wouldn't do that to ordinary people. Not even in my crimes did I put my hand on people and that kind of thing, because you're not really a threat to me. But when you've got those evil things, you can't. What are you going to do? Wait for them to do you? What can you do, Dodge?
So what would you do? You going first?
I'll go in first. You have to come off the wing. Yeah. Nah, mate. Yeah, I stabbed a few. Yeah.
And then, but what the paranoia that must build up?
No, I don't. When you're making decisions, because you know the way that they do it.
Yeah.
You've seen them do it. You know that they're going to think that they can. The one thought that they've got, because a lot of the ones that I know, they're good human beings. Yeah. They just done some bad things. But in reality, for the ones that I talk about on many things, they're proper normal human beings who can differentiate between empathy and sympathy, when to move, when not to, what's right, what's wrong, the moral high ground, rah-de-da-de-da. But then you've got the psychopaths. You got them. What are you going to do? If you show one bit of fear, their jokes are a bit funny. You think, I don't really find you funny, to be honest. You know what I mean? And then you think, well, whoever you're coming with, I know what it is. So it don't make no sense, because if you don't fight back, Daddy, you're going to get hurt, ain't ya? Doesn't make no sense, Dodge.
And how many hours a day are you allowed out your cell?
Well, in the Cat A's, it's like you're unlocked 8 o'clock in the morning. You get a bowl of cereal and a bit of a bowl of cereals and a little milk. You have that. If you've got to go work, there's workshops, education, work on the wing, 8 o'clock, out of your cell till about 11 o'clock, come back, lunch, bang up from 12, come back out for work about 1:30, till about 4 o'clock, then come back, association in the evening, till about 7:30. And then we were doing a running around the graft, who's got what, just get on the phone, You know what I mean? I just used to stand in the centre of the wing.
Yeah.
That's why they called me Yammy, because I was a greedy bastard.
Is that what I was going to say? Where does the name Yammy B come from? Because you're actually Samson, right?
Yeah, but Yammy means to yam. You're just greedy. And I think I could take everything and still go and train and all that. I never used to eat, everything, nothing. But I just want to do it all day, man. And then I used to have clean periods for 6 months. And then all the muscles, you look handsome again, and they'll go, what? How's he do all that? And all the big names will think, I know, Yammy's hurting. You know what I mean? They're good people. A lot of good, you know what I mean? They'll tell and all of them, and Tone, and that's John Gray.
What were the biggest faces in there that you met over the years?
Everyone. Anyone that you could ever think of from crime, I would have met them all, from Manchester to Liverpool to Birmingham to London to Leeds to everywhere. And I'd heard everything that I needed to know. Then the next generation came with the kids, the youngsters, the unnecessary shootings, and then the gangs coming in, 6-on-1 crime, and then you see the change in the guard, and then the religion thing. I watched every single thing from every single era, and I was on every single side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you were like the middleman to a lot of the big families and faces there, right?
Good point. Yeah.
How did you get yourself into that position?
Because they got their own. They can look after themselves, because they know that, certain men, they won't be able to trouble because they know they can get rid of you, right? But then others, they still got their demons. Everyone's human being. When you go to bed at night, I know he knows that I was involved in that. You got that, and then because the crime world, the underworld, and all that kind of stuff. But if you're going to see him, Yammy, go and do that, then they're thinking, if I don't, he's worth the risk. Yeah, I'll give you that then if you gave it. And then it works out, and then it gets confusing for me. When I used to have battles, I never used to turn up some days.
Yeah.
I thought, because you don't know whose side to go on.
Yeah.
But I noticed when I went there, they wouldn't fight. But I liked a lot of them. I ain't got a leg to stand on. They all looked after me. But they saw different things in me. But they still have to play the survival game in there. But the big ones sometimes walk alone. But they keep a one soldier. Like they always said, I don't need to watch anything else. All I do is lean over the landing and watch you, Yammy, because then I know how it's going to go. You know what I mean? I was a little bastard, man.
Who were the big faces in there that springs in mind?
Big faces, Terry Adams, Tony Argent, obviously John Gray, Massey, everyone, Ash from Newcastle, all the ones from London, black gangs, the white gangs, the Arabs, the Turkish gangs, all the Hitmen, Roger Vincent, Kevin Lane, all the major names, every single name you could think of. I know about hundreds from Manchester, hundreds from Liverpool. You know what I mean? Right from the creation of Dawn, the Showers, then you move on to the other next generation, then you hear the political stuff with Dare Wars, and then you hear about the Manchester, then you're in the deep end with them, and then the Birmingham lot, and they all fighting each other, and you go to the thing. But then London, of course, Kenny Noyen, he's there saying this, and then you've got Nelson, everybody's on the power struggle, everyone wants to be the greatest, and everybody wants to be dictating where you have the final say. But me, all I was interested in is, if you give me that, I'll be your best friend. And that was it. It was the truth, the facts. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's like the rubber, the green dodge.
What's it like being institutionalised?
Gave up, and then the screws, you don't listen to them, do you? Okay. When you're little, they used to wrap you up and beat you up and all that. But then when you get old, you say, shut up. Yeah. Don't come and bring that to me. And they know that I know that all it's going to be is a fight. You'll be down the block, I'll get moved. And they think, I'll leave him. Yeah. We're not going to play up. We'll keep him here while he's on fire. Hopefully something will happen to him there. Because they do a lot of stirring as well, Dodge. Never forget that.
The screws.
Yeah. They've got many people killed in there as well. But obviously there's good ones as well. You know what I mean? I had the rubber, the green there sometimes, but without the angels, I probably would have come unstuck.
Give me an example. You said the screws have got people killed in there.
Like one time they said there was in Larton, and they said the geezer was a nonce, and they got 2 geezers, and the geezers went in there, ironed him out physically or whatever, and he died. But then the next day it come out in the paper that he weren't a nonce.
Yeah, oh God.
Not that he should have got done anyway, but they're good at saying, I don't like you. So if you're rude to 1 a.m. and you call it on with him and you kind of strong him up a little bit, he'll go to one of the cleaners or one of them and say, make sure he's no good. Make sure he goes. And then you get a silly idiot who's going to think, all right. He's iron, he's all right. You know what I mean? And then it passes round the system. Everything's the way that they do it. News travels fast and da-da-da-da-da. But, sometimes you work it all out quicker. And then when you work it out all quicker, you know where they're coming from. So you know what to do, didn't you?
What's it like when you're a Nick and you know new people are coming in? Is it like the films when you're walking through and everyone's waiting there and clapping and...
No, it is though.
Yeah.
But what it is, every time if a name comes where there's problems, there's got to always be someone. Remember, with criminals, big name criminals, there's always going to be problems with other firms because that's how the game unfolds over the years, whether it's 20, 30 years ago, up to the present time. So then you get this shout, he's over here on induction when you just came in. Then everybody's plotting, oi. You got the Manchester, Liverpool lot, they come in, they say, yeah, hey, go on, my man, you can't have him here. Because if he comes in and settles, you're always at risk when you're new coming in, because those guys have been there 2-3 years and they got the market and everything. So you're walking into the lion's den.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to love it when I used to get moved because I knew everybody was waiting for me. So I was thinking, you thrive on it. I remember when I was getting moved from Whitemoor, Dodge, I was on a van, I was thinking, because the difference in the category is Whitemoor's more safety, because when the screams happen, the screws are more nearer. But in Larton, on the old wings, you're underground. So the screws are miles away. So you're thinking, I was thinking, yeah, I'm going back to Larton. All right. So that's a different jacket I have to put on. So as soon as I got there, she's got the things, sharpen the things. I said, nah. This ain't the same as where I'm just coming from. I've got to deal with things different because the more violence is happening. It depends who's in the jail at the time as well. Because then if everybody's coming out every day, I'm going, right, let me raise it a little bit more then. You know what I mean? Because I remember there's been some big ones with me where even with big name, I'm standing there looking and they're calling me names, but I'm looking and I'm saying, yeah. But I'm staring and I'm aiming straight for your heart. But they're looking and you're not making a move. And Tony and they'll be laughing. They're going, Yammy would have killed you, boy. Because I'm not arguing back.
Yeah.
When it's time to get the real serious stuff. You know what I mean, Dodge? You can't let people walk all over you, man. You're not as bad as them. You never hit no women. You ain't got no history.
Yeah.
You're low risk to them. You're not the most evil man, Yammy. I know you're a bastard, but you ain't, some of these are wicked. You was wicked. You've done some terrible, horrific things. I'm not saying that I was a proper angel, but I ain't riding for that. I'm not going to make no one, I'm not taking no check at that stage.
It must have been nice, right, though, yeah? I mean, knowing that you've got different faces.
Yeah, it does help.
Keeping an eye out.
It does, yeah. I've been rescued a couple of times. I have, Dodge. Yeah.
Is there ever been a time, when it's come on top?
Yeah. But then on them, the big days, one of them lot was there, and straight away they bought it out and done the geese on the spot. Tony, Gary. You know what I mean?
What, done a favour for you?
Well, I was losing. I threw the first punch, but I wasn't winning. Or Tony was mad. Anyone that used to shout at me, and not shout, they weren't even no problems for me because I take liberties, Dodge. And I don't really rate some of them. And then they listening because they're clean and they're thinking, are you talking to Yammy? It's like I could never fight sometimes, Dodge. When I got really, because they're going, nah, mate. They want to move in for me, Slaney, all the big, all the Bronson, all of them. They're all coming, when they come in at some say, oh, because they've seen Tony do it, seen Gary do it. They're thinking, well, I'm going in there, I'll do that for Yammy then. They've all got their own, it's mad. Tony's probably... I mean, and John and
is Tony one of the artists?
Yeah,
Shadow of a
and
Doubt.
John Gray. Yeah,
John who?
John Gray, Manchester. Yeah. They're all from different cities. I've got all the main ones, but then there are other bigger, more names. But it's more like people talk about Pablo Escobar, the South American thing, but he weren't the big man. He was the front man. But his name gets called the most. But you weren't really. There was other people in the background that was much more heavier than you, and their names don't get called. So, sometimes it's really strange, Dodge, but, I had loads of luck as well.
What was Bronson like?
Bronson, in the early days, I saw him a little bit before he'd done the Seg thing, but he'd done a lot of it downstairs. So he never really liked coming on the wings. But for what he does, he's a powerful man, strong man, and he'd done what he did, and he was the best at what he did. But you never come up on the wings and face the music, because some men go into the units and they can't take the paranoia of the environment upstairs. It's as simple as that. And then people think, oh, he's in a unit locked away, but really you did the things you did. Not Bronson was having a personal war with them anyway. But there's a lot of men that have been in those secure units, CSU and that kind of stuff, who purposely attacks a screw because they know then they won't let them back up and then spend their life down there. But it don't mean they were badder than all the other lot up here.
How are all the drugs coming into the prisons?
Well, sometimes you get the staff. Sometimes you send. I used to take visits for people sometimes and go and do kamikaze ones out there.
What do you mean?
Like I go on there and they send up someone from somewhere else, and I go on there and I go like that. I go on the table for 5 minutes, grab the thing, push out my bum, and then they rush me. So I get nicked again, and then I walk off. I go, shut your mouth, you can't. You ain't getting it. That's it, isn't it? You know what I mean? Then they let me back up. I'll give them their thing, and they give me mine. It's simple as that. But I won't get another visit for 3 months or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it didn't matter to me because I never had much out there anyway.
How did it work with the visits? How many visits are you allowed a week or a month
can,
for?
but a lot of men, they got support of wives, mums, families. I never had that on most sentences. Every 2 weeks, depending on your your category of like basic, you get 1 visit a month. It's standard, you get 2 visits a month. Enhanced, you get 3 visits. This is when all the rules change. But predominantly, it's more 2-3 visits a month, if you can get them. But a lot of long-termers take a visit every month. Unless you've got a missus, kids, they all come up and got to go through the same sentence as what you're going on with. And see a lot of men relying on that safety net there when you're left alone with no one. No, it leaves you a bit more powerful, because men who have got the support out there more rely on, but I've got to get back out for my family and all that. When you've got nothing to live, it's kind of a bit up and down, like it's that kind of thing. But I mean, sometimes it's more hard work when you've got people out there, because you've got to go on the phone, you got to worry all night, what are they doing, and you feel afraid. But you know what I mean, with me, I never really concentrated on the out, so it didn't really.
And where did it kick off most in Nick? Was it out in the yard or
everywhere?
On the wing?
Everywhere. Yeah, the yard is really hot because the screws will press the bell depending on what's going on, unless it's someone they want done. Yeah. Then they pretend they never saw. Yeah. You know what I mean? That goes on a lot. But then, depending what nick you're in, the blind spots, hot fat, water, hits.
Hot fat?
Yeah, throwing cooking oil over someone, or hot water. You got beef with him on that wing, he shouts through the window, Yammy, he's got to go, and someone will stab him, or I'll get to it, or whatever. You say, yeah, all right then, but he don't know, but he's looking around. If they're smart, he knows he's got problems with him over there. You know how it works, so you know that he might put a hit out on you. So you're going to work out who the hitmen are, who's capable of doing the job, and I'll go and approach them and look after them. Listen, mate, if anyone comes in, so you've got to go with who you like the most. Yeah. Probably the one who's got the biggest name, the biggest face. You'll probably ride with that because for safety reasons. So I played my cards right. I never ever trodden under their toes.
Is there a time when you're on the yard when it all kicked off?
Yeah. I mean, it's been deep. I used to go out there every day, sometimes with my duffer coat on, with the towel wrapped around my neck as well. Depends. I used to have to turn up sometimes, but I used to sometimes the danger and everybody watching seemed to spur me on. But as time went on, when the kids came in the gangs, and weren't like the old days where you'd have to be seriously wrong to get hurt in the early days. Yeah. And everybody leaves it because they're all saying, yeah, mate, do. But in later life now, everyone can go. You know what I mean? I've been on a yard where 10 down, 20 on that side, 40 on that side, and everybody go pelting at each other. So I've seen it. That was in locals, though, in the local B's and A's, where it kicks off and the screws were just picking up the pieces afterwards. Deep. Because they've lost control now. In the old days, you couldn't be able to do it like that. I've been on the yard in Albany and the Irish, kick off, the IRA, and you know what I mean, the other foreigners, and then the other little people, and then, you know what I mean, but the Irish were serious as well.
Were they?
I used to like some of them as well in the early days. I was only a kid, but they looked after me.
But there a lot of Irish in there?
In the Irish, they had to run one of the jails in the early days. Yeah, you couldn't, when you walked on a wing, the early lot, they were very, very serious. I like their mentality, I did. With me, they took to me as well. You know what I mean? The football as well. When you're good at certain sports as well,
people love you.
They love you and all that as well. Like the football, the Cat A football's funny, boy. I used to play up to that one dodge. I say, no, I had nothing. I'm too ill. I can't come out there. They go, all right, I'll give you 2 here. I should come up there, play today. I mean, and I'll do the swing on the sixpence, bang in the bottom corner. You know what I mean?
When you say they give you 2
Joeys, or drugs and things. Like,
just more drugs.
Like I say, on certain days, I used to play up
what?
Like 2 bags of brown or whatever, whatever you're taking at the time. But I'd say, like the day before, they say, yeah, you're going to play behind the strikers tomorrow. I said, yeah, but I don't know if I'll have anything in the morning. So, I'd be ill, but really I wouldn't be. But, they said, don't worry about that. I'll give you that in the morning if it's going to make you perform. One time I went out there, I was just mustard. I scored a hat-trick in 8 minutes from every angle. I remember the referee who was running back, Quincy, Porky, Courtney, everyone was there, right? Tony, everyone was there on the yard. And a scouser called from Liverpool, Tony Parkinson, because it was me, Tony Parker, Liverpool, Peter Clark, Peter Aaron, Idgie from Manchester. Everyone was there. And every time I got the ball, once I was running on the third bit, and I went that way, and I hit it in the top corner. A straight hat trick, right? He goes, you get one more, Yammy, on the touchline, I'll give you 3. And he come off. I said, yeah, this is Idgie after I scored the next day. He goes, you're giving him too much room. This is the picture. I remember the referee, the gym screw, right? I think it's Phil Curry or that my man with the glasses, old one and Trevor. Trevor was good stuff as well. He goes, the real Yammy B today, the real Yammy B. I said, I know. You know that day when it's just one touch and everything
works.
Where it all works. I knew I was always capable of that kind of, but other days you think, it doesn't feel right, does it, if you're not treating yourself right? But I just when I was really good.
And your last sentence was how long?
That was another 8 after that. I was on here. They think after the Queen's pardon, because I joined. They was putting hits out of me everywhere, Dodge.
Who was putting hits out of you?
Because I was robbing everyone in the early. Then everybody was coming, so I had 3 hits out of me. You got a yardie up there, you got another geezer from up north there, and you got another geezer, but they don't get on with each other. So then I was thinking, right, the 2 hitmen, one from Newcastle, one from Manchester, they come down. They said, Yammy, if they asked you to do a hit on me, would you do a hit on me? If don't do it on me, and if they ask me to do you, I won't do it on you. So I said, yeah. But really, I'm thinking I'm going to do the pair of you now. So then I thought, so that means that I've done him 2 years ago. They're all here now. So in the morning, I'll go up because I'm thinking overnight. I'll go up in the morning first thing when the door opens. I push the door. I goes, yeah, what are you saying? I said, give me 2 of them things, B. He goes, yeah. But I know you're thinking, do I know? So I'm playing with you. Yeah. That time I got so I know the game, but what was I going to say, Dodge? So what was the question again? We was going to say. So yeah, when we done through it, I was playing a dangerous game, Russian roulette, but I was ready, right? And yeah, it was really sticky at that time. But they because only certain places they can do because they won't do it themselves. Yeah. So I know the game, and I know that you're carrying feeling from the other £100 from 2 years ago or the other thing. But you know that I know that how you work because I've worked for you before. So I know what you're going to chase to someone else, but I know them two are not ready for me. They're as brave as me, but they ain't got the thinking skills that I've got. So I know how they think too. So you're not going to catch me like that.
How are you robbing people? Are you going themselves and robbing them?
Yeah, I've done a few like that. But then I've done a couple, other bad ones where you take it and walk off and da-da-da-da.
What, just pure liberties?
Yeah, like a liberty. But they're bigger than me. It's not like I'm bullying. Do you know what I mean? They talk down to people and think I'm not justifying it. Yeah. But most of the time, it was given to me. And then I said, I've got a man, he's going to buy it. I'll get him to send the money and all that. And then I'll go back there. And he goes, what happened? I goes, no, I ain't there. He goes, yeah, but you ain't getting no more. You do. But really, you're kind of hurt by that. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? It's only me and you know that, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sort of broadcasting.
It's just a massive game you're playing inside, isn't it?
It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Dangerous.
Do you remember all the prisons you've been into? Yeah. How many prisons have you been in?
I've been through quite a lot.
Do you know the number?
Nah, but it's got to be over 40 or something. It's got to be. Because you've got to remember in the early days, I went through all the locals, all the young bits, all the other bits. Then I went to the Sea Cats first as the Queen's Pardon. Then I developed, became a nutter, then reached the A's and the B's fleetingly for a few years each. Then I came back out and then it was all A's. Wow. So you remember, I graduated, didn't I? To the biggest, because I had a complete warm-up. By the time I reached the Cat A's, I didn't really have to do that much because my reputation from the 90s preceded me a little bit. You know what I mean?
And what have you noticed over the years, the change in prisons?
Oh, God, I've noticed the staff change. I like the old lot, the generals who came out of the army, me. Yeah. I like that lot. Because I take all them, because they're more, Yammy, come here, boy. You know what I mean? You're more, because you're brought up from that school and they're more proper, but the new lot, young, bringing in drugs, you're a bit, well, you don't really care what happens to anyone. You know what I mean? You're not really wearing the shirt with pride when you're doing it. You know, there's bent in everybody's, all's teams, you know what I mean? But, Dodge, the new lot seem to, they just press the bell and pick up the pieces. Yeah. The youngsters have got it rough, but that's what they want to do. You know, they're running in on 20-handed on people. And then they have to go somewhere on their own where it's their turn to get it. You have to learn the hard way. They don't turn up, some of them.
Do you think it's more dangerous now going in prison? Yeah. Because their younger kids don't care?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because you're just more young, and even if they don't know you and they know you're affiliated to the postcode thing, they get your word, that's him, and they get the youngsters, because the mobiles are easier. You get a phone call from me, make sure he just got there, don't make it, you know what I mean? He killed, what's his name? You know what I mean? It's very, very serious. When I came down and got the 8 after the 13, I had to turn back the clock. because I was playing all sides of the kids as well. So I said, good. And I didn't have no one. You remember, I just finished a big lump, and then I was kind of getting wearing down. I was getting a bit weaker, and I thought I was taking different drugs, and I thought, Yammy, man. And then one day I just changed again. I said, you know what? You remember, it was you that came through the Sahara Desert. It was you that came through Afghanistan. It was you that chose Syria. You, Yammy. Then I remembered who I was, and then one day I switched. And then they saw a couple of big things from me, the kids, and they said, fucking hell, the Uncle Yammy. I said, give me 5 of them things. And they all give me. So I was saying, fuck, I was playing up, innit? And then when they see things, they're thinking, one time a geezer came, and they all went like that. I come on the yard, Dodge, right? I come on the yard. I said, right, you're all out there. But this time I'm clean, so you know the energy's going to be high. So you know I'm going to think I'm Charlton Heston in Ben Hur. Right, so I came out on the yard, right, I came out and they all see me. Or, you know, these days now it's all the young kids in different gangs on the yard. So I came out on the yard and I started looking around like that. And I heard there was one group over there, one that goes, oh no, it's that Yammy. And they just want to know. I said, yeah, so what you saying? You know what I mean? Because they see things before. They said, oh, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Yammy, we're not on that. We're not on no old man thing. Allow it. You know what I mean? I was saying, yeah, well, I'm just telling you, you know. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You have to get serious, Dodge. I've got loads of problems. I've done a lot of wrong things. You've got to face the music. But they respected me.
So 37 years in prison. That last stint, was that a 13?
No, 8. After
it was
the
an
13.
8,
I did 12 and a half out of 13.
Yeah.
And I did 7 out of the 8.
You did 12 and a half out of the 13?
Yeah, because they recalled me twice after a month. I was in a hostel. I didn't even get out on the street.
Oh, mate.
Remember the young Vic Fear time? I said I make the Al-Qaeda geezer. Because I was
Say that again?
Because remember when I was doing the 13, they said that I was the hitman for the Abu Qatada. That's what the authorities were telling everyone, that I'd done a hit for him. He was on the terrorist wing. And they said that I joined and I'd done a hit because they got a postal order off his wife. And they photocopied it. So when I got out, they told everyone that I was going to be a suicide bomber. They done me over. And then I was at the Young Vic Theatre doing a musical, singing Prison Officer. I did the 6 weeks rehearsal. I was in the hostel. And then when I went out, a member of that team was walking down the road being followed by Mapper. Mapper police, you know, the Scotland Yard. They're tracking him. And he walked past. I didn't go meet him. He went, Yammy. I went, oh, yeah. And he hugged me. So they phoned probation. They said, listen, who's that? He just hugged. And they said, oh, that's Yammy. He was a hitman in there for them. And then they come on the night of the show, they recalled me. And that's how I got the 8 after the 13. Jeez. I come back out and took revenge.
Wow.
It ruined me. And then I did all of that. And then
So then you did the 8, and how much you do?
I did the 4 out of that, and I was a nutter in the Sea Cats, and I was only out a couple of months, and I got nicked with a Richie Mille £1 million watch. I didn't even know it was real, Rich. I was wearing it, but I left a print in handprint. So where was it? I left a print in Regent's Park. It was around that area anyway, right? So they never got the watch, but.
So you nicked £1 million watch.
I did, Richie Mille.
And you didn't know what it was worth.
No, I did.
You were just wearing it on your wrist.
I had it, but obviously someone was taking time to sell it. The 2 places we went, they said, we're not sure, did it? So it was about a month later, the print come back, a bit of blood. So I didn't know. And then they come, I got recalled. And then I rubbed another 3 years on that last bit when I went back to jail. So I'd done a 8 from 213 to 217. I was out 2 months. The Richie Mille thing, 217. Then I was in Wandsworth. The fight with the screws and all that. Then the governor as well. I punched him in the mouth, and then I fell off the bunk bed and died, and I was paralysed. And that's when I came out with the injuries. Mate, and now I'm a spinal patient.
I don't know which one to pick here. Tell me about punching the governor.
Well, but
why?
Because I was smoking. I was on a thing, and they did their young screws. They don't really know you.
Yeah. So
they were trying to bully me. Yeah, you get back to your cell, like that. So, and they were leaving me behind the door, Dodge. So I was thinking, you taking a piss out?
Yeah.
No, meal times, you weren't even unlocking me. So what I did in the morning, a worksman was going by. I knocked the door. I said, Dove, because my sink ain't working. So the works guy's not a screw. He opened the door. By that time, I went up the stairs on the 4s, raging. Then they all the whistle, Yammy, back to your cell. I said, who are you all talking to? And all the kids, everyone was watching. The worstest thing you can do in a big crowd to me. And they come towards me. I went crash, crash, crash. They battered me after.
Yeah.
But I went down a block, and then they put me on another wing. And then I fell from the bunk bed. And then I died, and I was paralysed. They said I wouldn't walk or use my hands again.
And what year?
And I was in hospital. That was 218.
218. So you were in the top bunk bed.
Yeah, and I fell head
you were
first.
A kip.
Bang.
Were you a kip?
Yeah, see the scar there, Rich? Pull the shirt down.
Oh, jeez.
Pull that down.
Bloody hell.
And I head first, bang, late at night, boom, paralysed, 5 months in hospital, cervical 3, 4, 5 fracture. And then that's how the sentence ended, and we was warring.
So that's when the sentence ended.
Yeah, that was when it was ended, and I came out 220, and I've been out ever since. So that was the end. And just as I was leaving Wandsworth, can you believe it? They had a hard time with me. When I got back up in the hospital, they were calling me the miracle man.
Yeah.
But they know they can't jump on me no more, because they know if they jump on me, I might die.
Yeah.
So near the end, they tried to hold me 5 days over my release, Dodge, and I called it on. I went outside, I went onto the centre, I said, come on, the lot of you, let's have the final stand. Mum's life.
Wow.
Everyone was there. Ask them. They said, Uncle Yammy, no. But the screws, Yammy, listen, because you know they can't jump on me, can they? Because you know it's a big thing, but they wanted to. But I called it on, and then they had to, the governor, I said, I'm not banging up, I should have been out 5 days ago, got to let me out. The governor there, he said, yeah, I'm going to, all right, stay out, sit down there, 5:30, you let me out at 9 o'clock at night. So how it ended. And I've never been back since.
And that's 2020.
That's 2020.
2020. What was that feeling like when they finally let you out?
I didn't, because of the injury. I didn't understand. I come out the day of lockdown.
So there was no one around. It's like ghost town anyway.
But I didn't understand. I didn't notice anyway. I was running down the road doing my exercises in the morning, but the streets were empty.
Yeah.
So I came out the day of lockdown, March. Right? Dodge. That's what happened.
That's March 2020, isn't it?
Yeah.
When Boris spoke.
Yeah.
March the 23rd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And what was your movements then? You're coming out to who? You're not coming out.
My missus and I failed that. Yeah, failed that.
And your missus stuck by you, did she?
Yeah, she did. That was my only missus in life. I let her down.
How'd you let her down?
Because my mum died during that time when I was out. I was falling apart a little bit. I started doing a YouTube thing. I had one channel before, and then that went wonky. I let her down, basically. I wasn't, doing a relationship properly, which I didn't understand anyway. I would do it different now because I know more. But, then I became homeless. The licence finished. It was all over.
And how long's the licence for?
The licence only had 9 months left when they released me. So they waited. They were hoping that normally I'll commit a crime and I'll be back in. But after that, she threw me out the day the licence finished.
Who, the missus?
Yeah. So she planned with the probation officer. But that's what I'd say. But it don't really matter. But Rich, anyway, I'm Dodge. So what happened? I went homeless. I was in trouble, smoking again, and didn't miss YouTube for a bit. Other people were looking for me, other platforms saying, Yammy, come man, TV. And there was a lot of things, but, I had to run around for 18 months, going from here to there and everywhere.
We're just staying in different gaffs.
Yeah, all around the country. But I kind of enjoyed it. But then you're bumping into things where you're not used to being out, Dodge.
Yeah. What's that feeling like?
It's because you're going to make elementary errors.
Yeah.
You think he's all right. You think she's all right. And they're saying, Yammy, come with me. Yeah. And I had much experience of the ladies as well, especially. So I was enjoying a bit of that. And then you end up here, but they all got ulterior motives and you think, they're not all right. But then you think you're to blame and then you feel guilty. And then you're back up again and then you're shining. And then you get somewhere safe to stay. Then you've got a couple of decent people. Then you've got the big lot come to, Yammy, stay here. Yeah. Come here, boy.
Have you had people since you come out have actually looked after you? Gone, here's a couple of quid, mate. Yeah, there's some money. There's a hotel.
I've been lucky.
Yeah.
But I never had that in my life, did I? So even with the down times, because the lapses got shorter and shorter and longer times apart, up until that last time there.
So the lapses of using.
Yeah, they got better.
Okay.
Yeah, then obviously. My friend died last year, and then it's strange, Dodge. But then now I feel so different, man. I felt heartbroken by that last run as well. You know that too. But yeah, you learn and then you think I ain't gonna go there. You know what happens when you're not there. You know that she's gonna say that. You know that he's gonna do that. Yeah. It's interrupting your work. You've got to get on with what you got to get on with. And then a few of the proper people they say, Yammy, look. You've got to get organised. You've got to get it like that. You've bumped into, you fell down, you know what it is. You don't like doing it. Yeah. Getting older, you've got the injuries. You've got to be careful, my boy. You've got a lot of love to give, a lot of people to help. And you've got to try and deter people from going to them places and make them really understand, which was the whole point in telling the stories for redemption, for entertainment, and so that they see the significance of their actions and see where it all leads to, and keep frighten them from the things that can happen in there.
Yeah. I think you've taught a lot of people over your YouTube channel. Yeah. A lot of people. There's a lot of great stories on there, but you're also teaching people stuff. Don't do this because you're going to end up getting that. Don't do that because you're going to get nicked for that. Yeah. Do that inside, you're going to get in trouble for that.
Yeah, you've got to care.
Yeah.
I'll get my thing. I've got a good bunch. They really are very pleased. It don't matter whether it's 100 or 200 or whatever. There's the ones that they kind of resonate and relate and know about life struggles and see themselves little parts in me. You know what I mean? And I know that everyone's suffering now, Dodge. Don't matter whether you've been to prison before or not. Everyone's struggling now. It's not, and then you work it all out, but then you lie and you think, oh God, you've lived your life already now.
Did you ever find when you've come out, you're like, it's so weird for me being out, I'd rather be back inside because I'm used to, or you happy you're being out now?
Something happened to me this time. Yeah. I never thought of prison.
Okay, good.
Crime. Yeah. So the demons aside, I never know, because I knew if you don't do nothing wrong, you can't go back there.
Yeah.
There has been a couple of occasions where I might have been protecting myself or somebody, and I thought, yeah, but that can cause you a nicking. It's only because I ain't had that kind of nicking before in the past. I wouldn't recognise it so easy because I was more of a thief and crime sprees, weren't I, Dodge? But then I thought, yeah, but you can't let people walk all over you, and you eat her, and you want to stick up for her, but
don't get involved.
Don't get involved.
Don't get involved.
Because then they go back together anyway.
Oh, headache, mate.
And then they all ring, yeah, man. Yeah.
Headache. Stay out of it.
They say if you cry to me, then I'm going to come. You know what I mean? Like I'm Sir Lancelot on the white horse, but. You know what I mean?
Just going back there, what inspired you when you come out to set up a YouTube channel?
No, one of my nephews and that fell apart. He had a little bit of mental health, but he's proper stuff still. I just got into it, but I knew that they used to say to me, all the big names, right? They said all the things. They used to say, "Yammy, listen, I've got work for you now." And I thought they wanted me to be a hitman or a bodyguard, or they said, no, I want you to run a club. I want you to be in the movie. Oh, you'd be good for this bit. And I was thinking, is that what they mean? I thought you wanted me to be a killer, you know what I mean? But no, truthfully, and then the young Vic Theatre thing, the other, they kept saying, Yammy, you got the voice, you got the delivery, you got great energy. Don't bring yourself down. So, and then this time round, when I started doing it, it seemed so easy in front of the camera and. So you get
a lot of love. You get a lot of love on YouTube.
Yeah, but the funny bits, you know what I mean, Dodge? You know how to fling that bit. You get to like it. As long as I'm a people pleaser, aren't I? So obviously, if I get used to doing it all, I'm going to be better at it, like I was in the institutions, because it's institutional YouTube. So it's going to suit me because it's a crowd, and then you're going to go, yeah, I know you like that bit. You like that bit. I'll bring that bit to the table. We'll do the best we can. We'll be as honest as we can. We can make sure we protect certain people. And we do it. You know what I mean? We do it in a proper way. But you just do the best you can with what you got. But I absolutely love it, really, to be honest. And now being on the TV and everything, there's other options now as well. And
there's a lot of things. What I'm noticing, the longer you are cleaner,
the better it looks.
The better it is. The better you are. The better energy you have.
Yeah,
just everything. It ticks every single box.
Oh, George, I
know.
It's been a rough. I was so happy now. The other day, since I woke back up, I said, yeah. All right, I think I've got it.
Yeah.
I saw a programme the other day where and just before he died, he said, hold on a minute, hold on. I've worked it all out now.
Yeah.
I know what to do. Don't go. Let me have one more go.
Yeah.
And he's, the time passes.
And because
you've done so much bird, it's very hard doing long sentences. You think all them big names, they're suffering out here. I'm thinking you were stronger than me in there, but out here you were weaker than me. It's so difficult to get your head around. Everybody's got to live. You've got a conscience. You have to live with certain things, Dodge. I sentenced myself to death for some of the things I done. But they're not half as bad as what some of these lot have done, and they've got to live with it. But if you don't, you're callous and you're cold and you're bitter and you don't want to help nobody, and you blame everybody for you don't accept your responsibility and part in things, then you're not going to grow and mature and be your thing. This is why I like when I'm clean, because I know that I could be my true self, and I know that I don't really I don't care about it. It doesn't really bother me, Dodge. You know what I mean? Just as long as I'm happy and you're happy and everybody's happy, I'm kind of happy.
Do you think you're done with crime?
Yeah, I wouldn't do nothing. I'm not arming
all
anyone.
Done.
Yeah, I wouldn't arm loads. I'm not doing nothing. Again, that's my biggest regret, doing stuff to people that didn't do nothing to me, Dodge.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do it, Dodge. Yeah. It's not my style, my boy. I was a lost little boy.
Yeah.
I was following the crowd. I was like the climbing and the creeping around. I was never really that good at it.
Yeah.
I was a raving nut. I did everything for nothing. All you do is you affected people's lives that hadn't done anything to you. The biggest regret that I ever had, and I've said it before in other interviews, is that I wish I'd have done some of you lot something, the evil lot. I wish if I'd have done anything, but I didn't know no better. I was lost, you know what I mean? And then as times out got shorter and shorter, and then I was an idiot in there, and you know what I mean? And then I used to sulk, and you know what I mean? Then it was up and down. Did
you ever have like a fatherly figure over the years? Anyone you looked up to?
Yeah, a lot of the big names. I kind of idolised a lot of them. I did. And then as time went on, but you build up, you can't help but love certain people because you know that they was real.
Yeah.
They was true, Dodge. I ain't got a lot to stand on. There's not many people I can slag off,
yeah.
to be honest.
Is there any of the lot you've met since you've been out again?
Yeah.
And open those relationships
Yeah,
again?
they've all got in touch because they see me.
Yeah.
They say, Yammy, what about tell that bit? You going, Yammy? Oi, don't leave me out. You remember I was fucking, he's got ego. I laugh. I say, all right, I'll tell that one then.
Yeah.
That one went like that, you know what I mean? And this one went like that. But I see with me, I loved, you know what I mean? Especially with Tony and John, and you know what I mean? There's a few of them, maybe some of us have fallen apart a little bit due to other politics you lot got with each other, but they're not my beefs. You know what I mean? But I was on certain sides and you lot hated me because I helped them. But what about what you did? You know what I mean? Leave it. You live with your stuff. I'm not calling no one no names, and I think you lot like to do some of that. I don't like to do it. As far as I know, I'm not a criminal no more. I'm getting a chance to go to my grave where I can say, you know what, thank you, God. I had a little bit near the end. I'm pretty pleased with that. You know what I mean? I'm a bit godly sometimes, you know what I mean? When I'm clean especially. But I don't want to know, Dodge. I don't want to know about the past. Like whatever it is, I'll protect it. No one's going to get in trouble because I'll make sure I'll do the best I can with the way that I do things. I'll move on to the interview stage now. Yeah. I've got good people around me, man.
What do you reckon the future holds for you, Yammy, right now? Because you speak really well. People like you. People like you online. People like you on YouTube. What's the next movement for you?
Well, I've got to get the book done because we've got 4 or 5 books planned, and I'm waiting to get stable, hoping that now is going to be the time. Everybody's been waiting. I'll do separate books on separate things, and then we'll go into the audio books. I've got contract possible chances with mainstream TV as well. Probably going to start the talks again, with the kids and the youth, and get into a bit of motivational stuff. Start interviewing all walks of life, not just true crime. They know what I've had planned for quite some time, but it's finding yourself out here with the hurdles, with life struggles first, which I thought I would have conquered after a year, and rightly so. Everybody said to me, no, Yammy. You ain't never been out long enough, boy. You're childlike. It's not going to happen. You'll get pulled here, there, and everywhere. They'll do your nutting. And you'll think that he's all right and she's all right and they're all right. And then you think, and then you end up on that again, and then that depresses you. Then you can't be your true self. Then you wake back up and then you think, all right, I'm going to have the final go.
When you're going back on the brown, how long does it take to come off that to get back to the full energy that Yammy is now?
28 days.
Is it 28 days?
Yeah, and I was only on it 3 weeks, and I've only done it 3 times since I've been here.
So hold on. You say it's 21 days. When you're on it, it takes 21 days of enjoying it, and then 28 days of feeling rubbish.
Yeah, I think even if you've done it for a week, because the body remembers, because it remembers what you did in jail. So I've never really done it out here. So that was just that's a blip because I was scared of what happened on the white the time before. So in my stupid, I'm thinking, I can't do that bit.
So I'll do that.
Do that. You don't puff. You do have a drink the tablet. It's got confusing for me, and they witnessed it. They know. My lot know, and they're thinking, Yammy, what are you doing? It's just you're isolating the Temple of Doom, Lady Macbeth. It's not the block no more. You're not in there. It's not locked. Everything's going well for you. But we're hoping. Let's just keep our fingers crossed up.
Yeah, mate, you just nailed it on there. Everything's going well for you, and the energy you've got right now, and the upbeat, and people want to hear more of you. People want to hear more of the stories.
Yeah, and plus,
how can it be done that you don't go back on the brown?
It won't be. I won't do, Dodge. It's
Promise?
too scary. Yeah, I know so. Yeah, because the white I got over. All the things that I said I wouldn't do again, I didn't do.
So you're
far,
done.
I'm done. But I might have a drink. I might, but I'm not.
But then we'll drink. Would that first drink lead into something else?
No, because I've gone off. I can't do substances.
Yeah.
I haven't got the illness. I've got to get all of my. I ain't got that. It's dawned on me that health. You can't. You've died a few times already. You can't. Yammy. So I think who can't hear must feel. The writing's on the wall. You either listen. It's touch and go. Last time a few weeks ago. Make sure, Yammy. Because I think my chances are running out. And I don't want another scare like I gave them the other day, where they thought he was on the way, he was progressing, he was going to bring it all to the table, and he didn't get a chance to do it. We don't know what tomorrow brings, Dodge, but I've got to aim for 6 months and then see what you can achieve in that time to move forward from that little bit of standard that I set, that I've been promising to break through. We'll do it now then. We won't be scared of success. We'll go for it and we'll have a proper go. You know what I mean? And we'll deal with the good people, and we'll know what risks now. You're 50 odd years of age. Come on, Walk the walk, mate.
I think this is the time.
I think it's the time.
This is the time,
It is, Dodge. I know.
It really is.
I'm relieved at the moment, but obviously, Dodge, I fancy I got it. But they've heard me say it before. That's why I haven't been saying
But
much.
we've just shook on it.
We just shook on it.
So everyone out here has seen that. We've just shaken on it.
So you know, I won't make it next time.
Yeah.
It gets harder as time goes on.
What, the temptation or the harder coming off it and stuff? Yeah.
What
is it?
What is it? Hurting yourself. You just want. It's no reason. You haven't done anything wrong. My cousin rang me the other day. She said, "Yammy, I don't know why you've ruined yourself for.
Yeah.
You did, but there's loads of men up there that hit women and raped and done all that kind of stuff. You weren't as bad as that."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, but I was bad, though." You weren't.
Yeah.
You ain't really done nothing bad. You weren't ever really that kind of criminal. You know what I mean? You could live with what you've done as long as you make amends. Don't blame yourself for certain things, because in the beginning of the time it wasn't really your fault. I think I understand.
What is it? What is it that triggers you to go straight on?
No, I don't.
What is it last time you go, I'm upset or someone's annoyed me or there's an emotion or something to go, right, I want to get on it?
I got to learn the party thing now and again, come out. Ladies, I didn't do all that when I was younger. You get used to it and you think, oh God, and then you start having problems when you overdo that or whatever. Then you leave that for 3 weeks, then you're shining again. Then you go back on, you think, well, this has just happened. Let me just bury my head in the sand. I'll get off it quick anyway.
Yeah.
The reasoning ain't good enough. There's not no real reason. There's nothing that should be upsetting me that bad to not remember what that stuff done to me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I'll tell you now, I had a big fight the other day, Dodge. And there's a lot in me. Yeah. So, I know when it comes to thing, whatever, when you have to, you normally were good and you will. You know what I mean? How much you're going to hurt? There's no need for it. You're not, there's institutional behaviour. Think when you're all alone, you think that there's nobody, you just don't, you get scared, you get frightened of yourself. But
even having a tear up now for you,
no, I can't.
Bam, they get straight back in.
And then,
it's not worth it.
But I mean, the battle that I find to come off it and things, you know what I mean? If you can do that, you can stay up.
Yeah.
You can. You know that you've done it too many times. You forget your age, Yammy, but you've got to, the third voice talks to me. God talks to me and we'll see. We'll have a go and we'll see how it goes, Dodge.
Yeah, me.
But I'm going to have a right go this time.
Yeah. It's your time. It's your time.
I am.
You're 56.
I'm telling her.
It's your time to do it and grab it.
Don't let them all know. I tell the girls I'm 35.
35.
35 to life, yeah.
You're looking good though, fella.
Well, all right, thanks.
You're looking good. You're looking good.
Dodge.
So Yammy, so where can people find you at the moment on social media?
I've just started I'm on Facebook, TikTok. I've just started. I've got a few thousand on there, but I haven't really been on there, Dodge. But everyone's telling me to go on there. I haven't really done the Instagram yet. I haven't joined all the apps together. YouTube thing, mainstream, they're good. I notify them what's going on, and then they watch and they listen or whatever. It's more of a case of that, Dodge.
Good. Are you earning money on YouTube?
Not really. I don't really. Not really. No.
There's a bit of money coming in, surely, because you're getting some good.
But I do. I give it to charities. Yeah, but I don't really. I get money anyway. It's enough to live on, that kind of stuff, Dodge. So it's not loads yet. I don't really think about it. As long as you can, when you're not on drugs, you can manage, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
A few bills, it's not really difficult as long as you don't waste. At first I didn't have to budget and things, and I was, you know what I mean, boy. But
I want to know. I see you on the YouTube. You got the Leeds United shirt on and a Leeds scarf. Where did the Leeds come from as a Londoner?
When I was little, I've done a video on it before. I was in a playground. Everybody had to draw lots. And it was Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool them days, Derby or whatever. I chose Leeds. And then I went to a game. I was in with a crowd and I ran away from the children's home. And once I was in with the crowd, I just supported them all my life.
Yeah. Good club, Leeds.
Leeds, but the
naughty. I used to love going up to Ellen Road.
The atmosphere's deep in it, Dodge.
And the West Ham end.
That noise there. I used to get crushed, when I was a kid.
Same.
I used to go with all the singers when I was 10, 11.
Yeah, all the kids were at the front, get crushed at the front. That's right.
I used to go right in with the singers.
Yeah.
So there was always something a bit nuts in me anyway. I remember I was at Leicester Filbert Street and Paul Hart scored from a court. The crowd when you're under that shed bit under there, when you're in your way end and you knew they're right next door. And I'd say, please don't score. Because I knew I was in trouble. And then the header come in and Paul Hart came in and headed it. And the jumping off, he was getting battered everywhere. Called him Bennett, mate. Nah.
Yammy, I've really enjoyed this.
You're my boy.
I've really enjoyed it. Really thanks for your honesty. Thanks for coming on.
All right, my boy.
You've got a lot of stories. I think you've got a lot going for you moving forwards.
Yeah, my boy.
I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Dodge. And you, big man. It's been a pleasure. It was that quick, wasn't it? Fucking hell.
Yeah. But what we do. Good man.
I love you, son.
Cheers.
Take
care,
nice
mate.
one, son.